The Vatican has just released a document stating that the Church needs to be careful not to be deceived by supposed apparitions of spiritual entities and other types of supernatural phenomena from now on. This is because, from now on, people might start seeing divine or satanic beings, and unfortunately, this could end up influencing the faith of many people. Coincidentally or not, a few days ago, the newspapers reported that there is a syndrome spreading around the world that makes people see demonic forms in others' faces. The question that remains is, could this have anything to do with the recent news from the Vatican? In today's video, I will answer these questions in the light of the Word of God so that you can understand why the world is so different and if all this has to do with the prophecies of the end times and the return of Jesus. But before we begin, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel. It's very quick. Just click the subscribe button and activate the notification bell by selecting the All option. I want to help you understand the Bible in a simple and easy way, so come along with me, okay? Now let's get started. The famous news site Fox News published an article titled, "Vatican Prepares Guidelines for Apparitions and Other Supernatural Features," which echoed everywhere, leaving many people scared. Remember that the Catholic Church understands having some type of vision or communication with divine beings such as sacred entities, angels, or even Jesus Christ. In this document, presented at a press conference broadcast live to the whole world, the Vatican provides several recommendations for determining the origin of certain apparitions or supernatural specifications and urges its leaders to ensure these vision reports do not distort people's views. The last time the Vatican issued similar guidelines on apparitions was in 1978, when its leader was Pope Paul VI. The justification for these new rules is the growing influence of mass media. But is that all? Apparently not, at least according to a group of religious scholars who study the behavior of the world's major religions in the face of human events. According to these theorists, the Vatican might have information that supernatural occurrences will happen soon, such as the appearance of beings claiming to come from the spiritual world or other planets. Therefore, the Vatican would have changed its rules on what really constitutes safety. But why only now? Will these images start to appear to people of our generation? If we analyze, 2024 has not been an ordinary year, with several strange events happening around the world. First, we had the solar eclipse in the United States, passing through the 7 cities called Nineveh. We also saw NASA record the largest solar storms in human history. The number of meteor falls has increased absurdly, and climate change tends to get worse. Not to mention the conflicts between Russians and Ukrainians and the terrorist attacks on Israel, which continue to create tension worldwide. Furthermore, this year, the U.S. elections will take place, which should elect Donald Trump as the president of the most powerful nation in the world for the second time. In other words, according to these scholars, we are living in a moment of great tension, and the privacy of celestial beings from other planets or other entities that bring some kind of answer or comfort could very well gain people's trust and even their faith and loyalty. After all, they are very fragile and vulnerable. According to these people, the Vatican knows that these apparitions can be produced by technologies called Project Blue Beam, which would have the capability to create signals in the sky, such as holograms and virtual reality, to impress and deceive entire populations. Have you heard about this project? Think about the large number of people who report daily having seen lights, flying objects, spiritual beings, and other strange things in the sky lately. We Christians know that we are surrounded by God's angels and also by fallen angels. So, these apparitions could very well be demons, that is, fallen angels who rebelled against God. However, many people believe that these apparitions, these signs in the sky, were created through this technology. And as strange as it may seem, some say it already exists and is not just a conspiracy theory. For your information, Project Blue Beam was presented in 1994 by a Canadian journalist named Serge Monast. He even released a book on this subject. He and his colleague conducted research, Finding that the plan to implement this technology capable of creating images in the sky was born in 1983 but ended up not happening and was rescheduled for 1995 or 1996. The only thing these journalists were sure of was that by the year 2000, this technology would be operational. Coincidentally or not, both Serge Monast and his colleague ended up dying in 1996, 2 years after revealing information about Project Blue Beam. Both died of heart problems, raising the hypothesis that they were intentionally eliminated from making this discovery. But what did the project's designers want to hide so much that they took the lives of these two people? Those who believe in this theory claim that those behind Project Blue Beam want to implement a new world order with the Antichrist at the forefront, using advanced projection technologies to simulate even the second coming of Christ or the arrival of extraterrestrials. The idea is that through these false cosmic events, world powers would consolidate control over humanity under a single government and religion. This project is divided into 4 stages. The first objective is to discredit all religions, making people believe their beliefs are false. They would create artificial earthquakes that would reveal archaeological evidence that religious beliefs are wrong. In the second phase, holograms would be projected in the sky showing religious images relevant to different populations. A supposed voice of God would speak in all languages, and this manifestation would be the work of the Antichrist. He would argue that traditional religions are the cause of world conflicts and then promote the formation of a new world order and a unified religion. Those who resisted this new order would be persecuted and killed, fully aligning with the prophecies of Revelation. The focus of the third phase would be the control of the human mind. The organization's satellites could create magnetic fields to control people's thoughts and actions, making them submissive to the new system. Finally, a false extraterrestrial invasion would be simulated, leading the world's armies to use their nuclear arsenals against this threat, disarming them in the process. The goal would be to reinforce the need for the new world order, making people believe that only the supreme leader, the Antichrist, could save them from this invasion. But could the Vatican really know that there is a group planning to use technology to produce images and try to make people believe they are witnessing a false return of Jesus or a false alien invasion? Honestly, all indications are yes, and this new document released this month may be clear proof of that. This is because, I don't know if you knew, but the Vatican has one of the largest intelligence systems in the world. You have probably heard of the CIA, FBI, and the former KGB, which are the main world intelligence centers. But did you know that the Society of Jesus, a religious order founded in 1534, has hundreds of scientists and other highly qualified agents? The Society of Jesus was created to combat the Protestant movement and had as its motto, "For the greater glory of God," preaching its doctrine to people in various parts of the world, and to this day continues this missionary work. But the Vatican's Intelligence Center operates within this organization. Its founder was a man named Inigo López de Loyola, later known as Ignatius of Loyola. According to scholars, he was part of a group known as the Illuminati, which had a formation focused on intelligence. Could he then have some relation to the Illuminati? We cannot affirm this, but all this is very strange, isn't it? Leave your opinion in the comments about the use of technology to create supposedly spiritual images, both angelic and evil. I believe it is possible, especially nowadays. There is a prophecy about the end times in the book of Daniel, chapter 4, which says that knowledge would increase greatly on earth shortly before the arrival of the Antichrist, and Project Blue Beam could indeed be related to this vision of the end times. Before we finish, I want to talk about a rare condition that is emerging in more and more people around the world, which makes the affected person see the face of others in such a distorted and unreal way that it looks like they are facing a demonic figure. The most intriguing part is that objects and other parts of the body are not altered at all. Victor Shaw, a 59-year-old American, suffers from this condition and says he feels like he is dying inside. He also says that every face he sees looks evil, distorted, and demented, as if it had come out of a horror movie. Other people affected by this problem say they have seen faces transformed into dragons or fish heads, or ears popping out of the top of people's heads. Some also report seeing arms shortened and attached to faces, eyes popping out of skulls and spinning in front of them, or a third eye in the middle of people's foreheads. Some believe that these people are unknowingly developing a technique to identify reptilians disguised among us, and that large groups and intelligence centers like the Vatican and even the Illuminati, for example, are already mapping these people to study them in the future, as they may have been infected by some virus created by the spirit of the Antichrist. But brothers, this is nothing more than a big conspiracy theory. This condition is actually a rare disease known as PMO, in which parts of other people's faces appear distorted in shape, texture, position, or color. Brad Deshane, a professor of psychology and brain sciences at a university in New Hampshire, USA, explains that this is a psychological problem that affects people who have suffered some kind of trauma or brain injury. Currently, 81 people worldwide have been registered with this disease, but it is believed that there are at least 100 more people with the same problem worldwide, and this number could increase in the coming years, unfortunately. I personally do not doubt that this could be a disease, but I also do not dismiss the possibility that it could be a demonic possession where the devil occupies the person's mind, and they start seeing evil beings or even the spiritual world. As for this disease being created by the spirit of the Antichrist, we also cannot simply reject this hypothesis because the Bible itself says in the book of 1 John, chapter 4, that this spirit is already roaming the world and certainly acts against God's creation in various ways. But brothers, to conclude, I believe we should not cling to this Vatican document about apparitions and other types of visions because it speaks of visions of entities that the Catholic Church treats as holy, such as the Mother of Jesus and important biblical characters, for example. The Bible is very clear when it comes to people who have already died. No matter how good and close to Christ they were, they left this world and cannot appear to anyone, much less perform any kind of miracle. They also cannot intercede for us because, according to the Bible, only Jesus is our mediator and intercessor with the Father. Any vision that a person may have of these supposed saints or any other type of entity can only have two origins: our mind, which is capable of creating things far beyond our understanding, and Satan, who is a fallen angel who has been here since man existed, and he is indeed capable of creating any kind of image to confuse people and lead them away from the truth of the gospel. So, I want to give you some advice. Hold on to the only truth we have, that Jesus came to this world, gave his life for us, freed us from the clutches of sin and eternal condemnation, and one day, when we least expect it, he will return to end all the evil and pain that exists today and establish his eternal kingdom. Amen. This is the channel Evidentia's Defy. If you liked this message, share it with your friends and family, and see you in the next video. May God bless you powerfully.